This little automation line here is for making aluminum or aluminium, depending where you live in the world, passively. And I wanted to showcase this to you because I wanted to, at the medium voltage stage, kind of explain that we could do a lot of things differently in Gregtech however we want. You could be mining up your aluminum, you could be passively doing it, but also I wanted to show you, I think this is a really good example for filtering inputs and outputs. So I'm using all medium voltage here, but you don't have to. I'm putting an advanced rock crusher with diorite, and you just put the diorite in, lava and water, outputting it into an advanced macerator, which is macerating it into diorite dust, and then I'm putting that into an advanced centrifuge. Now, the interesting bit about the advanced centrifuge with the diorite dust is it makes clay dust, but it will also make mirabilite dust. So the thing is here, we only really want the clay dust, and therefore we don't want to be outputting the mirabilite and the clay into our advanced electrolyzer. So, how do we get around that? Well, one thing that's really interesting about electrolyzing this clay dust that we're getting from the diorite, so we're basically making all of this stuff here out of nothing. A bit of electricity and just diorite, well, one block of diorite. We're literally making, out of that, we're making clay dust, sodium dust, lithium dust, aluminum, and silicon dust, and water. And it's all renewable. But the thing is here, like I said, in the centrifuge, we're also getting mirabilite dust, which we don't really want to go through the electrolyzer. So what you can make is a LV, and you can make MV, but LV is cheaper, and you don't really need MV at the moment, a robot arm. Limits items to specific quantities as a cover, so we can add covers to our machines. I'm just going to break this pipe to show you. So this one has the robot arm on. How do we get the robot arm off? Well, make a crowbar. It won't be neutronium, you'll be using iron or something, steel. And you could just right-click and off pops the robot arm. To put the robot arm on, I simply right-click, and as you can see here, it adds it onto the machine. I then can shift right-click to go into the robot arm settings. How many items are we putting in at once? I'm putting in the full 8. And then what I want to do, because I'm importing, not exporting, is I'm going to put mode, import. And then we need to make a filter. So an item filter here, you can see there's an item filter, an item tag filter, smart item filter or fluid filter, or even a fluid tag filter. So I'm just using an item filter. That's what goes in this little box here. You put in the item filter, and it then brings up the items. So what you'll see is that this item filter has saved what I've got in it, which is the clay dust. So even if you take it out, it will save the settings. You can choose a blacklist or whitelist. Whitelist meaning only the item shown, blacklist meaning everything but the item shown. So I'm whitelisting clay dust. The mode is import, not export. And what I'm doing is, you can see here, manual import output. It's a bit confusing on the wording, but if it's disabled, it won't do anything filtered. I want to say filtered, meaning it will only use the items filtered shown here. You can say unfiltered, where it basically moves independently of the cover. The filter only applies to what is inserted or extracted by the cover itself. Whereas for using pipes here, I'm going to say filtered. And then I add my pipe. Use my wrench, which I've got here, to attach it. And because I've got that filter on there, I can still shift... Oh, I can't... Can I shift click and get that? No, I won't be able to click it. I'd have to take off the pipe. But now I'm basically filtering clay dust to go in. So if you do have machines that have multiple things coming out of them and you want to filter the export or import from a side, you can do that using robot arms. And then what I would then do is put another robot arm on, etc., and output the mirabilite somewhere else as an export and probably trash it or keep it for later. Have a look what you can do with it, which, I could put the mirabilite into an electrolyzer and I could make oxygen with it. So it's also a really good way of making oxygen much easier than you were before. And you're also going to get sodium, sulfur, and even more water, but that will require 17 mirabilite dust as well. So I just thought I'd show you there. It's a really good way of getting passive aluminum, silicon, sodium, lithium, water, and also clay as well.